10 years ago, nearly every country in the world signed the Paris Agreement, a promise to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees. It was hailed as a turning point for humanity, a moment of hope after decades of climate deadlock. But a decade later, the question remains, has the world lived up to that promise? In many ways, the Paris Agreement has transformed global climate governance. Today, over 90% of global emissions are covered by some form of national climate commitment. Climate laws, carbon targets, and renewable investments have reached record highs. Over 80 countries have pledged to reach net zero by mid-century. For the first time, the fight against climate change is not led by a handful of nations, but by a global coalition. This is the agreement's greatest achievement, making climate action universal. But progress on paper doesn't always translate to progress in practice. The latest UN Climate Governance Report warns that while ambition has never been higher, implementation remains dangerously slow. Fossil fuel subsidies continue to grow. Emissions, instead of falling, reached record highs again in 2024. Many national targets still lack binding enforcement or funding. In short, the system that was built to deliver climate action is still struggling to deliver results. At the heart of the problem lies climate finance. Developing nations, those least responsible for emissions, are still waiting for the US $100 billion a year that was promised to them more than a decade ago. Meanwhile, global investments in fossil fuel expansion continue to outpace those in renewables. The gap between words and action has become a credibility crisis. Without fair funding, transparency, and accountability, even the best governance framework risks losing public trust. The Paris Agreement was never meant to be static. It's a living treaty that evolves every 5 years. The Global Stocktake process, completed at COP30, revealed both progress and paralysis. While renewables are scaling faster than expected, emissions are not declining fast enough to stay on the 1.5 degrees Celsius path. The next decade will determine whether the world can turn political ambition into physical reality, from carbon markets and adaptation plans to phasing out fossil fuels for good. 10 years on, the Paris Agreement has changed the rules, but not yet the outcome. It gave the world a shared direction, but now it needs shared delivery. The task ahead is not about rewriting the promise, it's about finally fulfilling it. The next 10 years will decide whether Paris becomes a historic success, or a reminder that good governance means nothing without real action.